Yo, what is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Samurai Raider, back at it again with yet another video. If this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love daily Raider content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. But first things first, man, the Raiders have made some moves as of recent, and we finally add more depth to the defensive line. According to Tom Pelissero just yesterday, veteran defensive lineman Leki Fotu is signing with the Raider. Let's fucking go. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm more excited about this because he's a poly and I'm a little bit biased towards my people. Shout out to the Usos and the Tokos out there. But in all seriousness, Fotu, 26 years old, was drafted by the Cardinals in the 4th round of the 2020 draft out of Utah. Then signed with the New York Jets last season, only playing in 2 games, starting in 1 due to being on the IR for most of the season. In those games, he only racked up 3 total tackles. And in his 5-year career, he's played in 58 total games, racking up 92 tackles, 7 quarterback hits, 12 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Now, Leki Fotu isn't a game changer, but he's a solid depth signing for the Raiders defensive line. With his massive frame and run stuffing ability, he can serve as a rotational nose tackle, especially in run heavy situations. While he may not produce big numbers, his size, experience, and role as a space eater makes him a good signing for a Raiders team looking to bolster depth in the trenches. Fotu most likely will be a rotational defensive tackle this season, and most likely will be competing with Jonah Laulu for some PT. The theme continues to be the same with this team. We ain't signing any big names, we're just signing people that could provide more depth to the roster, and I just hope that all these signings end up paying off in the long run. I mean, we have to start winning games this season, and I know we're all going to start criticizing these moves if we don't win this season. With that said, though, the Raiders didn't stop there, because just today, breaking news, according to Raiders PR, the Raiders will be signing tight end Ian Thomas. Again, sticking with the theme of things throughout the whole free agency, the Raiders signed yet another veteran depth option to add to the team, this time in the tight end room. Now, my biggest question after this signing was, have we seen the last of Michael Mayer in the silver and black? I know that there's been a lot of rumors and reports going around that the Raiders were looking to trade Michael Mayers, which I don't understand why, but with the Raiders signing a guy like Ian Thomas, are they looking at him as the tight end 2 to back up Brock Bowers? Who knows? Only time will tell. If it were up to me, I would keep Michael Mayer and then just have Ian Thomas as that tight end 3, somewhat of a guy that could replace Harrison Bryant from last season. And I feel like our tight end room right now would be pretty solid with Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and then you got a guy like Ian Thomas. Now, Ian Thomas isn't the most flashiest name out there. He's not a guy that's just going to jump out the screen, that's going to go out there and just start balling out. But as somebody that can just come to the team and just provide depth, I think he's that guy. Thomas, just 28 years old, was a former 4th round pick for the Panthers in the 2018 draft. He played out his final year of his 4-year, $3.2 million contract and signed a 3-year, $17 million deal in 2021. Last season with the Panthers, he played in only 5 games, only racking up 3 receptions for only 7 yards with no touchdowns. While his recent receiving numbers have been underwhelming, Thomas has built a reputation as a solid blocker and a reliable presence in the running game. For a team looking to bolster up its depth rather than invest in a high-volume pass-catching tight end, Thomas fits the bill. Overall, this is a solid signing by the Raiders, especially if they're looking for a veteran depth to back up Bowers after possibly moving on from Michael Mayer. If not, like I said earlier, Thomas does provide a solid tight end 3 role on this team, and knowing Pete Carroll and knowing how much we want to involve the running game this year and finding the future running back for the team, this makes a lot of sense for the Raiders. But what are your thoughts, Raider Nation, on this signing? Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Do you guys not care at all? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. With that being said, though, with some more good news, according to Aaron Wilson just last night, the Raiders signed exclusive rights free agent Jordan Meredith. Now, this is a big signing for the Raiders, especially for the offensive line, and a guy that's coming off of, I would say, his best season yet in the NFL. This is a really important move for the Raiders. Now, his deal is only a 1-year, $1.05 million deal, which is a huge get for the Raiders. Meredith was one of the most underrated players on the offensive line, and last season he got an opportunity to play in week 6 due to a slew of injuries on the line, and he instantly became one of the best guards. Meredith had the 5th highest PFF grade amongst guards in 2024. He didn't allow any sacks and let his quarterback hit the ground only once, to a tune of just 9 pressures on 399 pass blocking snaps. This was Meredith's first season playing more than 100 snaps since being an undrafted free agent agent in 2021. If 2024 was any indication, he should see a significant increase in his role going forward. Meredith not only adds depth, but also gives the team stability on the offensive line without breaking the bank. And I can definitely see him most likely starting this season alongside of JPJ and DJ Glaze. Now, even after this signing, I do believe that the Raiders can still address the offensive line and add more depth, especially at the guard and tackle position on the right side. With that being said, I'm really excited about this offensive line moving forward. I know a lot of people like to really bash on the offensive line, but when you really look at last season, they weren't really that bad, and they started putting things together at the end of the season. Now going into this season, I'm just excited to see what they can do with a new quarterback under center, especially with Geno Smith. I just feel like the Raiders just need to add a #1 wide receiver and a #1 running back, and I feel like the offense will be just fine. With that said, Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on Jordan Meredith re-signing with the Raiders? Do you feel like this is a huge move like I do? I feel like this is really a great move, and the offensive line seems to be complete right now with the opportunity to add more pieces in the draft and maybe even in free agency. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about is wide receiver DJ Turner. As you guys may already know, the Raiders opted out of his tender, making him an unrestricted free agent. And so far, the Raiders haven't made any moves, and it seems like DJ Turner might not be coming back to the silver and black after posting this on his Instagram story, captioning it, "It's been real, LV." Most likely seeming that he's not going to be returning to the team anytime soon, which I guess kind of sucks because, you know, he was one of those guys that came over here, worked his way up the roster. I got to interview him, and he seemed like he wanted to stay in Las Vegas. And just last season, he finally got a chance to go out there and showcase what he could do, playing in 12 games, starting in 6, having 16 receptions for 158 yards and a touchdown, also adding 5 carries for 33 yards and a touchdown as well. But his season got cut short due to an injury, which does suck. Now, knowing the Raiders still have a need at wide receiver, it kind of surprises me that they don't want to bring him back, at least on a cheap 1-year deal, just to add more depth to the roster already. But with that said, wish nothing but the best for DJ Turner and his future endeavors. Whatever team he does go to, they got a real one, and hopefully he can make the most of his opportunities. Going back to the Raiders, what is it going to take for this team to make a move, bring a wide receiver over here? I said it before yesterday, talking about Alec Pierce. You know, the only notable wide receivers we have on our roster right now is Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker, but we still need to go out and address that position. Of course, there's names like Amari Cooper, who I wouldn't mind bringing over here. Keenan Allen's another name that's been thrown around. Of course, Stephon Diggs has been another name that's been thrown around. But who else is out there that the Raiders can bring in? I mean, we don't have to go get the big names, but keeping with the theme of free agency so far this year, I'm pretty sure that they're going to find somebody on a cheap deal, a 1-year, maybe 2-year deal to come in over here. Now, if we don't address the wide receiver position in free agency, like I feel like we won't, I feel like the Raiders definitely need to address it in the draft. And if a guy like T-Mac is still sitting there at #6, that's the guy that I would definitely want to draft over a guy like Ashton Jency, because I do believe that T-Mac would definitely fill in that wide receiver 1 role for the Raiders. But Raider Nation, what do you guys think? With the big need of wide receiver, what direction would you go in to find the next wide receiver to add to this roster? Would you go into the draft to find your wide receiver 1, or would you go into free agency? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until the next video, this your boy Simone Raider, and your boy is Yow.